Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Yarn Tales and Hooks. My name is Anita. I consist of the hooks portion, and my awesome dog, who's being very lazy right now, Miko, consists of the tails portion. And one of these days, we're going to have to figure out somewhere else to film. Because I would like him to join me. Because I like to show him off. Because I think he is the cutest dog in the whole wide world. That's just my opinion. I might be slightly biased. I don't know. He's adorable, though. Anyway, so thanks so much for stopping in. Thanks to anyone who might be stumbling upon this channel for the very first time. And thanks to those who've stuck around with me for a few years now. I appreciate each and every one of you, no matter what the case is. Alright, so today I am here to show you my progress on the Stag and the Serpent crochet along that I am doing. This pattern is by Kelsey Emerson, and yeah, we're in the mosaic section now, which I love mosaic. And yeah, so this brief rundown about this pattern. She wrote a short story, a choose your own adventure story, and along with the story she has designed a pattern, basically a choose your own adventure pattern to go along with the choose your own adventure story. So based on different options that you select in the story, different choices you make in the story, your pattern is also going to have different options based on what you choose in the story. So yes, this pattern is available on Etsy. I think it's around $16. Yes, $16 might seem a little bit pricey for a pattern, but bear in mind, she wrote the story. She not only did she design, one pattern, but she designed variations for various sections of the pattern. So bear that in mind. And she put in a lot of work. And I can't even imagine putting in all that work. I would not sell a pattern for $5 that I put that much work into. No way. Not happening. But anyway, we are on part 4. And no, part 3. Excuse me. We're on part 3. I'm about to start part 4. So part 3, we began a second square or panel. And I don't know if this is going to be a blanket. I don't know if it's going to be big enough for me that I like my blanket. I like my blankets big so I can roll up like a burrito in them and get all comfy and cozy. That's how I like my blankets. But we'll see. Maybe I can add something to it to get some more width and length if I need the length. But anyway, let me talk to you about this mosaic. This mosaic is different. It's not bad. It's kind of cool. I've never done mosaic quite like this before, so there are two mosaic techniques that me, myself, and I are familiar with. One is inset and the other is overlay. So overlay is you start from the right side. You work one color all the way across. And then you're either doing drop down doubles or back loop single crochet all the way across one color. You cut it. You start with your color number 2. Again, all the way across. Cut it. All the way across. Cut it. All the way across and cut it. That is overlay. Now with inset, at least the inset that I'm familiar with, I've only done a couple of inset projects because it seems, as far as mosaic goes and mosaic patterns, it seems like the overlay is way more popular, and that's what designers tend to do more of, from what my experience, in my experience anyway, from the patterns that I've seen. So inset, you don't go back, you don't constantly start from the same side, and you're not cutting your yarn. So the first color, you do two rows of each color. So you start, you work your row, and then you come back across. And when you come back across, you're usually doing chain spaces and drop downs. I think it's been a minute since I did an inset, but anyway, and when you come back across, you pick up your other color, you go this way, you come back, but you're doing a lot of chain spaces, and when you do your drop doubles, you're doing it over the chain spaces, and you're not working in the back loops really. So the mosaic that she has in this pattern, it's almost like it's a hybrid between overlay and inset. So I say this because you're not starting from the right side and cutting and starting and going like you are with overlay. You are doing two rows of each color, and that is very much like the inset mosaic. But you are not just dropping into the second row below, or you're not just dropping into the, you're dropping it down into two different rows below. Sometimes it's the third row below, sometimes it's the second row below. Now, so when you work your first color and you're coming this way, when you're on the right side, you're working into back loops. But then when you're coming back across, you're working into front loops. Well, it's into both loops, and then sometimes it's the front loop. So that when you're on the right side, it'll be the correct loop exposed so that you can drop down into the correct so that when you drop down, you have the correct loop exposed. I'm trying to explain this, and I don't know if I'm doing a very good job at all. So in the second row below, when you drop down to the second row below, that would be the row where you're working on the wrong side from your previous color, and you're going into the front loop, so that when you're dropping into that second row below, it is the correct loop. I am not explaining this well at all. But then you're doing your drop down into the third row as well sometimes. I don't know if you understood any of that. I know what I'm trying to say, but I don't think it's, the words are coming correctly. Please forgive me. Anyway, I'll grab it and I'll show you my progress so far, and I'll stop trying to ramble my mass confusing explanation. All right. Okay. So I don't want to pull anything out. This is what we got, and now the title of this crochet along and story is The Stag and the Serpent. So it's gonna be fairly obvious what this is gonna be. Can you see it all? There we go. I just have to lean back. So yes, it is quite obvious that this is going to be a stag. And I'm loving this mosaic section, and I really like this method that she uses for the mosaic. I think it's coming out nice. But like I said, it's not very wide. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I thought it was going to be a blanket. I'm still pretty sure it's going to be a blanket, but yeah. It's coming out cute. I like it. I really do. So now that I have filmed this, I can start part 4. But see, I have a huge problem though. I started another mosaic cal, and I don't want to put that one down. And I have my cardigan I have to work on. I only have to do the sleeves and put it all together, and it'll be done. A boggy blanket I started that I need to work on. And my school doily, and I want to make a monster out of the amigurumi book that Nancy sent me. But I don't want to. I don't want to stop my mosaic. There's not enough time in the day. I need more time. I need more time. We should have an extra hour or two in every day. Right, Miko? I have to take Miko for a walk. I told him I would. So I have to do that too. I have not been doing good with Miko walking since I broke my ankle, but I think I'm starting to feel a little bit more normal. Like, I took him for a walk the other day and my back wasn't killing me like it has in the past. I was wearing flip-flops though. Yeah, flip-flops in November. And I should not have worn those when I took him for a walk because the top of my foot, like the top of my foot by my big toe, like where the bone comes up into your foot in the joint, it was really, really sore. I think because these are different flip-flops that I bought. I think it's because it's not a flat shoe. It's not a sharp incline, but a slight incline up. Um, so I think I've just never really walked for a long period of time in them. So I think that's what made my foot hurt. But it feels better after a couple of days. Feels better now. I don't know why I'm rambling about this. Oh yes, because I said I need to take Miko for a walk. We'll see. Right now it's a little bit sleety and rainy, so we'll see if that lets up. I woke up this morning and there was like snow on the ground. It was trying to snow yesterday afternoon, and it did a little bit, but like the flakes would hit and disappear right away because they were so tiny. But then later on in the evening and overnight, it snowed. Like, it actually snowed, like big huge flakes. And I woke up and there was like maybe half an inch, not much, maybe even like a quarter of an inch on the ground. Amiko is happy. It's all gone now though, because it warmed up and it all melted, and now it's like rainy and sleety. It might snow again tonight. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I'm veering off track. Let me show you again part 3 of the Stag and the Serpent mystery cow. And you can find this pattern linked in the description box down below. And just in case you want a refresher, this was part 1 and 2. There you go. So stay tuned to see my progress on this project and see what comes next. And I think that's all I've got for you for today. So you guys have a wonderful day, morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is when you watch this, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for stopping in. Bye.